Hillary Clinton, of course, is the original election denier. I'm sure you voted for her in 2016.
Well, she's not an election denier.
She absolutely was the OG election denier.
First of all, she came out before the sun had risen to concede the election to Trump.
And then spent the next 4 years saying he was illegitimate. He was an illegitimate president.
Okay, well, first of all, she didn't say he was an illegitimate.
Yes, she did.
You tell me exactly what she said.
She said those exact words repeatedly.
I believe he knows.
There are days when Hillary seems like a sensible Midwestern Methodist who grew up Republican in a suburb outside Chicago. That's the biographically accurate Hillary Clinton. But it's hardly the only Hillary Clinton. During the years she spent in Arkansas, for example, Hillary often played the loyal daughter of the American South, a Southern fried Dixie lady with a spunky feminist twist. That was the character she was portraying when we first met her 30 years ago this month. It was during the 1992 presidential primaries. Listen to her accent here.
You know, I'm not sitting here as some little woman standing by my man like Tammy Wynette. I'm sitting here because I love him and I respect him and I honor what he said.
You can't simply watch this kind of political takeover, you replay it, much like a championship knockout. Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson did not tiptoe into the ring. They came with the precision of seasoned prize-fighters and the flair of espresso-fueled stand-up comedians. By the end, Hillary Clinton's painstakingly crafted portrait looked like a pinata from a child's birthday party, broken, dented, and without any of the mouth-watering treats. It wasn't an attack, it was the pinnacle of political destruction.
This woman should be in jail. Literally, Hillary Clinton should be behind bars. And so should the people who worked for her who did this. This is so blatantly corrupt. She wanted to distract from her email scandal. She cooked up a plan to accuse Trump of being a Russian agent in order to distract from her.
Attention, that just happened to Hillary Clinton. She's got a brand new job. Who would hire Hillary Clinton? Honestly, well, Columbia University would. Columbia University has now made Hillary Clinton a presidential fellow and, quote, professor of international relations. Now, what does Hillary Clinton know about international relations that qualifies her to be professor of it at an august Ivy League university or crypto Ivy League university? Well, unlike most professors at Columbia, she destroyed an entire country, a whole country. She wrecked the nation of Libya, which is a real country in North Africa. She killed the guy who ran it for no reason whatsoever. Now they have slave markets in downtown Kabul.
Hillary Clinton's political career has continued to run like a soap opera. Each chapter has a rehashed storyline, speeches worth more than the GDP of various countries, emails, and questionable foreign transactions. She still manages to seem shocked when they're brought up her impending homecoming tour featuring the same talking points she's been honing since the 1990s seems to be the main reason the political stage exists.
Hillary Clinton decided to drop an op-ed in the New York Times today that's entitled, "How much dumber will this get?" And she uses Signalgate and the messaging by Pete Hegseth and Mike Wallace and JD Vance and Tulsi and others on there as the jumping off point to talk about how dumb.
Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson aren't exactly the kind to ignore it. Together, they're reducing Hillary's polished image to confetti by stripping away the spin and leaving only a series of weak justifications. They start with her time in the State Department, which can only be described as a masterclass in public service theater. Despite the many lines of applause, the chaos behind the scenes could fill a political blooper reel.
How dare she? She puts out this tweet, and it's a picture of her, a much younger Hillary, and the caption on the hat reads, "But her emails." And she writes in her tweet, "Bringing this back in light of recent news. Get a limited edition But Her Emails hat and support Onward Together groups working to strengthen our democracy."
You're running this company, you get attacked in public, you become a prop in the Hillary Clinton campaign. The media, as always, on cue, aligns their coverage with her propaganda priorities. They're sort of a seamless unit, the Hillary campaign, CBS News, NBC, Shep Smith. But your job at that point is to sort of bow your head and say, busted.
Libya, for example, was portrayed to the public as a humanitarian success story. The ensuing geopolitical turbulence made the region less stable than a folding chair on an uneven patio. The purported strategy collapsed faster than a shoddy replica handbag once the cameras stopped rolling. When it came time to face the repercussions, she spun around so fast it could have given the entire press corps whiplash.
Clinton, when she mentioned a phrase about you, I don't want to repeat it.
Oh, you're not going to hurt my feelings, don't worry.
She called this gentleman, this honorable gentleman, that he is playing the role of a... You say it.
I didn't see it.
What does that tell you about Tucker Carlson and right-wing media and also Vladimir Putin?
Well, it shows me what I think we've all known. He's what's called a useful idiot.
She said the useful idiot. You didn't...
She's a child. I don't listen to her.
No.
How's Libya doing?
No.
Another example is the Clinton Foundation, which somehow managed to serve as a conduit for foreign donations at the precise moments Hillary had the political power to sell influence. The timing of such gifts could have been planned by a Broadway producer. Each check was taken, of course, with a smile, a handshake, and no acknowledgement that anything was amiss, because any criticism in the Clinton sphere is simply misconstrued and never points to a conflict of interest.
What role did Hillary Clinton, then Hillary Rodham, play in Watergate?
Well, there's a book. The book is called The Crime Without Honor, The Crimes of Camelot and the Fall of Richard Nixon, written in the 1990s by the former chief counsel of the House Judiciary Committee. And he describes terrible things about Hillary.
Megyn Kelly stays true to her brand, while Hillary's carefully curated persona feels like a museum exhibit, polished but missing key truths. Claiming to champion average Americans, she mingled with millionaires, making her outreach as misplaced as a vegan class in a steakhouse. Her 2016 campaign mixed arrogance with poor strategy, neglecting key states, and her infamous email scandal revealed a digital blunder worse than a teenage hacker's mistakes.
She calls the Trump administration hypocritical, dangerous, and dumb over this story. It's not the hypocrisy that bothers me, it's the stupidity. We're all shocked that President Trump and his team don't actually care about protecting classified information or federal record retention laws. I mean, this is so rich, given her history. What's much worse is that top Trump administration officials put our troops in jeopardy by sharing military plans on a commercial messaging app and unwittingly invited a journalist into the chat. That's dangerous.
Her usual defense was that it wasn't that bad, which is the political equivalent of saying the Titanic didn't sink that much. The problem wasn't just the emails, it was the pattern, the way rules were bent until they resembled pretzels. By pointing out that she was treated like a misunderstood genius by the same media that would have chastised any other politician for the same mistakes, Megyn highlights the double standard. The coverage was so inconsistent you'd think the media was acting as her personal PR team. Every controversy became a chance to move on, and every questionable choice was reframed as an audacious move the public simply couldn't comprehend. She also had a peculiar tendency to blame everyone and everything except herself, like blaming the chess pieces after losing a game.
Legitimate scandal. She made up a scandal about Trump being a Russian asset. And they banked on the intel agencies working with her to perpetuate this lie, and it appears they were only too happy to assist. That's what this scandal's about. Pieces of it we knew. New pieces are coming in by the day thanks to these declassifications. And it's...
Her foreign policy record fares no better, with donations to the Clinton Foundation oddly aligning with weapons. Deals she approved, surely coincidence, until the stack wobbles. Megyn notes the irony of charging banks huge fees to talk about inequality while running one of the most secretive political machines in modern history. Every move was branded, every handshake staged, her image micromanaged, yet she still seemed more focused on legacy than listening.
Not only did they not dismiss the bullshit coming into them from Hillary's operatives, but they doubled down and they opened up an investigation into Trump and his campaign and started arresting people and using the Hillary generated information like the Steele dossier and more. You know, you heard Aaron Mate explain she had this CrowdStrike group that suggested it was the Russians who had hacked the DNC. They took that hook, line, and sinker, and so on. So this shit's crazy.
Hillary's downfall stemmed from arrogance, framing the presidency as her birthright. By the time she realized the race was slipping away, her campaign's credits had rolled. Post-2016, she tried to reframe failure as misunderstood greatness through books, speeches, and interviews, portraying herself as a people's fighter despite a record favoring the lead interests.
Hillary Clinton like. You're probably the only person in this room who would know.
It wouldn't surprise you to know that she's not too fond of me.
She hates you like the devil hates holy water.
So, when I resigned as vice chair of the DNC in 2016, specifically so that I could campaign against Hillary Clinton in that Democrat.
Tucker highlighted her calculated tone, rehearsed delivery, and pre-approved language technically polished but lacking authenticity. Each rumor of a comeback drew national groans, yet she seemed to relish the speculation as proof of her continued relevance.
Hillary Clinton as America's national tattoo remover. She alone can erase the stain of our youthful bad judgment. God bless that woman. But wait a second, you say. Hillary can't win. She's yesterday's candidate. This country's got a short attention span. We want the new thing. And Hillary Clinton isn't new. She's been around forever.
Tucker calls her legacy pure political conceit ambition without self-awareness, power pursued at the cost of purpose. Despite resources, connections, and decades of influence, she never mastered connecting with the people she sought to lead. The roast hits her contradictions, vast experience paired with tone deafness, overanalysis, and reckless carelessness. From First Lady to Party Power Broker, every era shows the same pattern errors, miscalculations, and half measures, all delivered with unwavering confidence.
And this is a document produced with federal money?
Oh, absolutely, without question. I don't know that they paid them, but Hillary's trips back and all the communications.
But it's part of it. It's part of the judicial system. It's part of our justice system.
Well, yes, but this is the impeachment inquiry by the House.
Of course, but so this is not some freelance project.
Oh no. This is to
but they suppress it. Surely,
and it never comes up. We decided it wouldn't be helpful for them to see this stuff. That's what Radina.
The best part is that as long as Hillary Clinton remains in the news, Megyn Kelly will never run out of roast material. Every speech, interview, and rebranding effort becomes another chapter in a never-ending saga. Judging by the last few decades, this story isn't fading quietly. Despite the length of her career, there are more red flags than achievements. Every so-called success comes with an asterisk the size of a campaign billboard. Given how often she's been in the room where it happens, you'd think she'd have mastered the art of making the right call. Instead, her highlight reel plays more like a blooper reel. And yet, she keeps returning to politics like a rear nobody asked for the same stage lighting, the same script, every comeback framed as something new.
Stole his first term as president. These absolute liars who run around trying to act like they're the protectors of democracy completely ruined it, tried to undermine it at every turn and at the highest levels with lies, with out and out lies that were really serious and changed foreign policy and changed the course of history in this country in Trump's presidency. And there must be accountability. There has to be actual criminal accountability for those who lied. And I can't wait to see this.
No matter the decade, Hillary's delivery stays polished, rehearsed, and steeped in sanctimony. She claims to champion the people, yet her record often elevates her above them. Her legacy is debated less for achievements than for how she stayed in the game despite her baggage, and history shows she's always ready for the next spotlight.